Okay, part 3. What type of gravel biker, what should a mountain biker consider when looking at purchasing a gravel bike? And again, I digress. Where are you going to be riding it? That's probably one of the biggest considerations, is where you're going to be riding it. The gearing, the type of wheels and tires that you want it to accommodate are really critical to where you're going to be riding it. The newer gravel bikes can go up to 700 by 50, some even better or bigger, with 29 by 2.2 tires, and they're pretty much like a drop bar cross country hardtail, or not even a hardtail. Some of them come with suspension. They got these ISO grid or whatever decouplers in the frame. They've got a little shock that's kind of built into the frame with elastomers. They've got shock that's built into the headset or the steer tube, and some always also go all the way to having a 50 millimeter 40 millimeter travel suspension fork with the Fox, the King Creek, there's a whole bunch of them out there, and they're really cool. I look at those and I think, damn, that's a cross-country bike from 1980 if you put flat bars on it. So if that's what you're into, I mean, you could put flat bars on your gravel bike. I think you would be missing out on the road type, long road advantage of drop bars. I think drop bars give you an advantage when it comes to aerodynamics and long flat and pavement and windy rides, that flat bars aren't going to give you that same advantage. But you do you, get what you want. So some considerations is matching that gravel bike and determining where you are going to either replace or maybe enhance your mountain bike riding experience by, instead of grabbing your heavier, which it's most likely heavier, or draggy tire, big knobby fat tire mountain bike, you're going to go for that gravel bike with knobby tires too, but they're going to be skinny knobby XC type tires, 700 by 45, or perhaps you're going to do the 700 by 50 or the 2.1 2.2, and you guys have seen those tires. A lot of companies are making some really nice low profile tread design, bigger tires for gravel, or I should say smaller tires for mountain, that work on gravel, and they're pretty cool. And if you don't want to lug that weight around like I'm doing right now, go for the smaller tires and go further, go a little faster, and enjoy the fact that you're still out on a dirt trail, but now you're not canning it, or I should say feeling spent, because you've just exhausted yourself dragging up a heavy mountain bike, especially those of you that are riding those big enduro bikes. Those things are heavy. So that's something to consider when you get your gravel. Another thing that you need to think about is your gravel bike. It's really, really important that it fits you properly. And as you guys know, my gravel bikes are custom sized to me. So that was my priority and my consideration when going all out. But I didn't have to. I probably could have looked around, found a frame that would accommodate some adjustments to get it just right, dialed in to me. But that's what I'm telling you to do. Go out and test some bikes, sit on some bikes, parking lot demo them, figure out which one feels like it has some basic geometry and basic sizing that's within adjustability for your needs, because you can change the width of your bars, the length of your stem, the fore and aft on your saddle, the length of your cranks. You could change all that stuff after, but you have to have a frame that is going to be able to be in somewhere mid-range of fitting you. If it's way too big, you're never going to get it adjusted right for you. If it's way too small, you're never going to get it adjusted right for you. It'll always be off. So, especially with gravel, know what you're getting into with the frame size, because you will be spending longer rides and the majority of your time in that saddle stretched out with your hands on the hoods. That's gonna be where you live for the majority of your rides. And if you get something that doesn't feel like it would be able to be adjusted to you properly, it will not meet your needs. And like I said on my first video, gravel bikes are long-term. It's a long-term commitment, because you're not going to beat it up as much. It's not going to change and be modernized as much. It's not going to be a bike that you need to replace because you clapped it out like many of you guys do your mountain bikes. So get something that you can keep and start with something that's the right size. So I'm going to leave it at that, and I'll add some more stuff later, but that's all I could think about right now about some reasons to go from a mountain biker to a gravel biker in the right order of things, and getting the right gravel bike for you as a mountain biker. I fell in love with gravel bikes as a mountain biker. Now it didn't, and you see my multiple rides down El Prieto. It didn't replace my lust for mountain biking. I will always love mountain biking more, but if this was not my local trail that had all this technical stuff in it and didn't have some reason to have an aggressive hardtail. If it was flat and or wide or not as chunky, I might have just stuck with gravel bikes all along, or maybe gravitated to them sooner. But I love riding mountain bikes. I like the feedback I get from it, and I will continue to have a mixed stable of gravel and mountain, and who knows, maybe I will eventually get something else, maybe a full suspension mountain bike or an all-road road bike. But for now, my stable is serving me well, and I'm going to keep it that way and stick to buying hardtails and gravel bikes. Talk to you guys later.